Chris, you're about to become either very popular or very unpopular because you're going to give us your best 11 that you have played with in your career.
Yeah, I talked to you about this earlier, and you made me feel like a
Just say it.
vanilla ice cream.
Beige.
Yeah, because I said I'm going to pick, or was it maybe worse that it was like something out of the Alliance Party that I was picking I played for 5 clubs. So I was going to pick 2 from those 5, which obviously makes 10, and that was leaving room for me because it's the only way I was getting into this team.
I thought that's why you were doing it.
Well, probably maybe that's what it is. It's massaging my own ego. So, so yeah, that would seem to me to be a good way of doing it. And it also gives note to all of those clubs. So the 5 clubs: Crusaders I started at, moved to Linfield, then to Glentoran, Newry, and then briefly at Dungannon. I was only at Dungannon for about 3 or 4 months, so it's quite hard actually to pick. You're only there for a very short period, but we'll do it anyway.
Okay.
It also gets a friend of yours into the team.
Oh, okay.
And a friend of mine, because he wasn't getting in any other way, to be fair. So I've set a team up in a 3-4-3.
You tell you're coaching now.
I mean, I'm sort of almost rationalising how this team would be, but a goalkeeper, one of my crew's picks is Kevin McKeown. Played in the really good team, the Crusaders team in the 90s. He was probably then the best goalkeeper in the league. Scottish, maybe got a Scottish B cap, but really good goalkeeper at Crusaders. So Kevin McKeown, go for a back 3, and Noel Bailey has to be in it. Just because he's played so many games in the Irish League. You don't play 1,000 games at Linfield without being an unbelievable player. So that he's still referred to by everybody that has ever played with him as skipper.
Okay.
So that's a respect piece as much as anything. But he was just an incredible player. And I actually talk now sometimes. I say to young players that one of the things that Noel would have been able to do better than anybody is that at any game, if he gave you praise, and he didn't hand it out just easily, but you felt 10 feet tall, on the pitch, you do something well, and Noel would praise you. You did, it made you feel great. So Noel will play in the middle of the back 3. Either side of him will be another Crusaders pick, Glenn Dunlop, Rolls Royce of a defender. Unbelievable player, hard as nails, but could also play. And on the other side, on the right side of that back 3, will be Paul Lehman. So again, another Irish League legend, captain the Glens for many years, played for a long time. Again, I don't think there'd be too many people who would look at that back 3 and say it's not formidable. We now go a little bit all over the place in terms of a midfield 4. So you have 2 wing backs in there. My 2 wing backs will be on the left, Sean Friars, played with him at Newry. Okay. He's never been a wing back in his life, but an unbelievable footballer. So it's going to go horribly wrong from a defensive point of view from here on in. Sean Friars was an unbelievable footballer, so technically gifted. On the other side, on the right, to play right wing back will be Mickey Ward. Played with him at the Glens and Dungannon. Yeah, never heard of him, have you? And he also, I'm now managing him at Rosario. Okay. He's really good for us in playing in a midfield number 6 role. So I'll play him as wing back, up and down the sides. Probably wouldn't be where he'd be doing it now. We then go for two centre midfielders. Another one from Dungannon, and I only played with Rodney McAree for really briefly at Dungannon, like 1 game or something. I played with him. So he comes in, plays in centre mid. He'd retired by the time I went to Dungannon, but I know he played 1 game. I think we appeared once together. Somebody will tell me we didn't, and then this team's going to be ruined. But he's in anyway, and I'll put in beside him Lee Feeney. So again, the back 3 are going to be overworked here, looking at this midfield 4. But just in terms of pure ability, incredible. Just so good. Played with him at Linfield twice, in between his period at Rangers and then at Newry. But I'm putting him in as a Newry player here. Okay. I remember Fino saying to me one day, at Newry we got new socks were laid out and he turned around and he said, oh, I love when you get new socks. That sets my game up. And I just looked at him and went, Fino, if only all those clubs had known for all those years that all you needed was new socks to get you to perform. But an extremely talented and gifted player who probably didn't deliver what he should have based on his ability, and I think he'd be the first to say that. Front three, and I'm squeezing myself in here, and I probably shouldn't be in it, but it's the only way I'll get myself in a front three. So I'll play somewhere maybe as a 10 or out in the sides or whatever, and the other two front players will be Gary Hamilton, played with him at Glentoran, and Glenn Ferguson. So in terms of a front two, you know, I'll not have to do an awful lot, because those two were, in terms of Irish League players, Spike, I don't think there's any doubt, is the greatest centre forward in Irish League history. And Gary was just, again, probably a little bit like Lee Feeney, incredibly talented, probably should have had a better career in England, didn't, had a brilliant managerial career here. I think you look at the job he did at Glenavon, it's probably a shame that he's now out of the game. Really knowledgeable guy in football, and again, I think sometimes when you see players in a training environment, you actually understand how good they are. I remember you should see Gary in training, and his finishing was like nothing else I'd ever seen. Scored loads of goals, and if you put him and Spike together up front, the back three probably wouldn't need to do an awful lot.
No, I don't think anybody can argue with that team. Whether the formation's 3-4-3 or whatever it might be, I think there's plenty of goals, plenty of excitement. Yeah. That would probably be the scoreline in your favour. But and you could be player manager.
Aye,
yeah,
that'll do.